Welcome to part 2 of my 3 crypto question series. You keep hearing about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. You've tried looking into it, but you find there's too much jargon around, and you can't seem to get the most basic answers to the most basic questions. If that sounds like you, then this series is for you. This is a bit of a sidestep from my usual videos on money and personal finance. In every one of the videos in this series, I will answer just 3 questions about crypto. These are questions I've had in the distant past, or ones that I've had very recently. Just 3 every time, to learn in tidbits and not get overwhelmed. So learn with me to get up to speed. Let's go. Question 1. What is all this blockchain stuff about? Cryptocurrencies run on a blockchain. Think about blockchain as a digital log, a register of transactions, a ledger, which isn't controlled by one person or one organization. It's a ledger that's made up of lines, like any other ledger would be. But in this case, it's a ledger made up of blocks. Each block contains details about a transaction. So, for example, if 2 bitcoins are sent from person A to person B, then a block is created to record that transaction. With lots of transactions happening all the time, lots of blocks are created, and these blocks link together in a chain. And this blockchain record of transactions, or ledger, is shared between everyone who's using that blockchain. It is supported by computers all over the world. Because everyone has access to this ledger and every block on this blockchain is shared, counterfeiting cannot happen. If you do not have 2 Bitcoin and you want to send someone 2 Bitcoin, then that transaction clearly shouldn't be able to happen. And in Bitcoin's case, it cannot happen. Public ledger of transactions will ensure that that transaction cannot take place because it will recognize that you do not have 2 Bitcoin to be able to send it. If it wasn't obvious already, this record of transactions or ledger is the blockchain, a chain of blocks of transactions, blockchain. And it is extremely difficult, nigh on impossible, to modify data within these blocks, i.e. modify details of a transaction, because everyone has a copy of it. And that's before we mention encryption, which we won't because it wasn't part of the question. Question 2. What is this fiat currency that everyone is talking about? Fiat is a Latin word. It kind of means it shall be. So before the 1970s, money, the same money we use today, pounds, dollars, etc., were backed by precious metals like gold. The money in your pocket was a medium of exchange. You were effectively exchanging gold, or your right to it. Money was just an easier way of exchanging that value. By sending someone some money, you were transferring a claim on some gold to that person. Being backed by a precious metal meant something. A national currency couldn't lose more value than the underlying value of the precious metal it was backed by. If you had money that was equivalent to 1 kilogram of gold, then you could spend money up to the value of that 1 kilogram of gold. What you could buy with it would only really change if the underlying value of that gold changed. And if you exchanged gold for money, you could reverse that transaction as well and take that gold back, because that's where the value actually was. In the 1970s, all this changed though, because many governments started issuing money that they guaranteed, and it didn't have to be backed by gold anymore. Lots of governments moved away from the gold standard. This is when money became fiat money. It was only guaranteed by the government now, not by gold. Before the 1970s, if a government wanted to make more money available to its economy, it would have to get gold in place before they could issue money, because all money was backed by gold. But since governments moved off the gold standard and started issuing their own money backed only by themselves, governments and their central banks now control the money. And they controlled how much they made available to the economy simply by printing more. Question 3. Who created cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin? Every cryptocurrency has a different creator or a team of creators. The most popular cryptocurrency and the largest by market cap, Bitcoin, was created by someone called Satoshi Nakamoto. I say someone because this Satoshi Nakamoto has never been identified, so it is likely that this isn't even a real name, more of a pseudonym. Satoshi could be one person or a team. Satoshi Nakamoto's true identity remains a mystery, but this hasn't stopped many people from claiming that they are Satoshi. Regardless of who Satoshi Nakamoto actually is, one person or a team, he, she, or they chose to remain anonymous. Satoshi's ideas and software protocols have made a large impact on society already and continue to do so, and this impact is likely to remain for a long time. Whatever someone may think about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general or their longevity, I believe that blockchain technology and its fundamentals will last. 2 more quick things to know about Satoshi. In 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto solved a long-standing problem with the idea of virtual or digital currencies. This idea was effectively blockchain technology, which was described in the paper that was called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The last thing to note is that just like pounds and pence, dollars and cents, there are Bitcoins and Satoshis. Satoshis are smaller units of Bitcoin. That's the 3 questions for this video. If you want to see the previous video in the series, just click here and make sure you subscribe to the channel for the next one. See you then.